often arrives dressed in sweetness. It whispers promises of joy, of thrill, of satisfaction. In the heat of the moment, it feels irresistible, like honey on the tongue. But what we often forget is what comes after: the guilt, the broken trust, the emptiness, the destruction of things we once valued. Lust is like sweet poison, pleasant at first, deadly in the end. And wisdom means not just looking at the first taste, but remembering the consequences that always follow. The Bible tells a famous story about King David. One evening from his rooftop, David saw Bathsheba bathing. Desire filled his heart. He called her to him and he slept with her. But Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah, one of David's loyal soldiers. To cover his actions, David arranged for Uriah to be placed on the front lines of battle, where he was killed. David's lust led not only to adultery, but to deception, betrayal, and murder. His kingdom suffered, and his own family was torn apart. The story is a timeless warning that lust does not come alone. It brings pain in its shadow. Today, the same story repeats itself in countless homes. I know of a friend who had a stable marriage, 2 children, and a beautiful life. But in a season of weakness, he pursued someone else. At first, it felt exciting: secret messages, late-night calls, stolen moments. But when the affair was exposed, his marriage collapsed. His children no longer looked at him the same. His finances were ruined in divorce. The very thrill that promised happiness left only ashes. Lust is short-sighted. It sees the now, but blinds us to the after. Think about your own life. Has there ever been a moment when you gave in to desire only to regret it afterward? Maybe it was a broken promise. Maybe it was a betrayal. Maybe it was simply the emptiness that followed. The next time lust arises, ask yourself, if I do this, how will I feel tomorrow? How will I feel next week? How will this affect the people I love? Often, just remembering the consequences is enough to break lust's spell. In the Bhagavad Gita, lust is called the all-devouring enemy. It starts as a spark, but grows into a fire that consumes everything in its path. In the book of Proverbs, it says, "The lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, but in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword." The Buddha taught, from lust springs grief, from lust springs fear. For him who is wholly free from lust, there is no grief. How could there be fear? The message is the same across traditions. Lust's beginning is sweet, but its end is bitter. It's not only families that suffer. Entire careers have been lost to lust. How many politicians, CEOs, or celebrities have been brought down by scandals? Years of hard work, reputation, and respect, all undone by a single act of desire. Society remembers not their achievements, but their downfall. The lust that promised joy left only shame. Psychology teaches us that the human brain is wired for immediate reward. Lust thrives on that weakness, but one way to break free is to rewire the brain, to train it to look beyond the immediate. This is what monks, yogis, and saints practiced: reflection. They reminded themselves of impermanence, of consequences, of what really matters. Remembering the pain of the past and the risk of the future helps us resist the illusion of the present. The greatest danger is not lust itself, it is forgetting. Forgetting who we are, forgetting what we value, forgetting the pain that lust always brings. This is why mindfulness, reflection, and remembering are so vital. They awaken us from the dream of pleasure and remind us of the reality of pain. So how do we conquer lust? One way is by remembering. Remember that lust is short-sighted. It promises joy, but hides the cost. Remember that every choice has consequences for yourself, for your loved ones, for your soul. Remember that true joy never comes from craving, but from clarity, love, and integrity. The next time lust whispers sweetly, pause, look ahead, see the path to the end, and in that moment choose wisdom over illusion. Because wisdom sees not just the sweetness of the first taste, but the bitterness of the aftertaste. And when you choose wisdom, you choose freedom. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to watch episode 5 of this series to continue conquering the dangerous power of lust.